Go. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Skip Happens. Skip Clark, your host from the Wolf here in the Cuse. This is where the podcast is. It's our hometown, Syracuse. And but you know what? We take time out once or twice, 3 times a week. We talk to a lot of the independent artists, a lot of the well-established artists, just about anybody, anywhere. I got a big guy over here. Look at that. Dude. You know, when we went on, Michael Lee is with me tonight. We went on. He goes, "Hey, big guy." And I said, "Hey, be careful."
Hey, I hear that all the time myself.
I'm the big guy, man. I'm the big guy. Michael Lee, how are you, my friend? It's good to see you. It's a pleasure to meet you finally.
Yes, sir. Good to meet you. Glad we finally got this worked out where we could make this happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get right to it. Where are you right now?
I am at home. I've been on the road all weekend. I live in Georgia. Go Braves. We done talked about that. But I'm a Georgia boy, and I'm up in the northwest corner. There's a little town called Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
I'm about 35 minutes south of Chattanooga, and I'm about an hour and a half north of Atlanta.
So you're in a good spot.
Yeah, up in the mountains.
Easily.
Mountains, you know, I'm in the hills.
Yeah. What was the weather like there today?
Hot. It's surprisingly hot. And man, I tell everybody, man, you talk about this too. I tell everyone, you know, every time I open my mouth, it comes out of my nose anyway. But right now with my sinuses from all the pollen and stuff.
Oh, dude, it's terrible.
It's even worse, man. I've been so congested and stuff the past couple of weeks. It's been crazy.
Yeah, they say right now it's yesterday, today, tomorrow. Although it was only about 57 today, but still, it's still dry. Everything is growing. Everything's pollinating. It's just like, you know, you go to work and you sound like this because I have to go on the air every day. It's like,
and I don't need any help to sound like that, man. I sound like that anyway.
I love it. I love it. What do you do as an artist, though? What do you do? Do you drink like maybe like a lemon flavored water or warm water?
Warm coffee. I drink a lot of coffee anyway, just something warm. And then, water with lemon, Fisherman's Friend.
Yeah.
And honestly, one of the best things I've found that helps me is the icebreaker mints, the cinnamon one. And man, they open me up really good.
That's awesome. And I just can't even imagine. It's one thing me being on the air. That's the whole different side of it. But you being on that stage and having to, you know, just belt it out night after night after night.
It happens, man.
It happens. It happens. That's why this is called Skip Happens, by the way. So, because no matter what you do, sooner or later, skip's going to happen. But there's nothing you can do about it. You just kind of flush it and you move on. So that's pretty much it. So let's talk about you. You say your home is in Georgia. You're living in Georgia, as you mentioned just minutes ago. What's the drive like? Do you get to Nashville very often?
Oh, yeah. Man, I'm 2.5 hours out. We set up appointments to ride and stuff like that. And anytime I have to do anything with a label or my publicist or anything like that, you know, I get a day's notice on some of that stuff. Like when things come up and I have to be in town, I can be there a day's notice. I can leave out and be there.
At 7, you're there by 10.
Yeah, and plus I gain an hour. I'm on Eastern time.
Oh, that's right too.
Central time, so I gain an hour anyway. So
yeah, well that's to your benefit, which is pretty.
And
cool.
plus, there's a lot of songwriters and artists in my area that I can link up with, and you know, through Zoom calls and stuff like that. You know, a lot of back in 2020 when COVID hit, people started, you know, utilizing that kind of stuff, and it just made it easier all the way around. Social media changed everything anyway.
Oh yeah. COVID changed everything.
Yep,
so
everything.
Just, you know, even more so for social media because of the COVID. But yes, I mean, look what we're doing right here. So it works out. We probably would not have ever had the chance to meet unless I went to a show or I saw you somewhere. Now we can at least get together and chit chat and find out about each other by doing it this way. And that's a result of COVID.
Yes, sir.
Pretty much.
Hey, there's good things happen out of everything, man. I know
You know,
couples
there
with
is.
bad days, but it's still, there's a lot of positive changes happen, but of course there's some things that, I wish would kind of go back the way it was.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree with you 100%. And we talk about that every day.
Yeah,
If only it was like it was 20 years ago.
right.
I mean, it sounds
I,
crazy, but it's a fact.
I get it.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us about you a little bit. How long have you been playing music? When did you start? How'd you get your start? And,
Man,
bring us up to date.
my whole life I've been around music. My granddaddy on my dad's side, him and his brothers had a country band in the 1960s, and they traveled all over the Southeast, and they actually did some stuff with MGM Records.
Oh,
So
very cool. Okay.
growing up, I was always around music, because especially on my dad's side of the family, they all played, everybody. And have family reunions, everybody had a guitar or something, and was doing something. Then my mom and dad, they actually traveled with a gospel group in the 80s and early 90s. They traveled around and did gospel music, and
Oh, wow.
uh, so I've always been around it.
Mhm.
So I first started singing in church with my mom and dad, and then um, I tell everybody it was just always a part of my life,
Mhm.
and started singing publicly when I was like 14. And then I started singing in nightclubs when I was 17. Wasn't even old enough to get in these places. My dad would have to go and sign waivers to actually get me in, because I was only 17, and he would take me, and of course they knew I was there to entertain, and he'd
Right,
sign
right.
waivers saying, "Hey, I won't let him drink. I'll watch him and
Mhm.
kind of take
You're
him."
not the only one that has done that, though, Michael.
Yeah,
I've
and
other artists, it's like, oh, I used to get in like at hang on a second here.
no,
Sorry about
good.
that. No, no, it's my daughter calling me. Told her, I said, honey, I have a podcast at 8 o'clock.
Hey,
What time
man,
is it? It's 8:05.
it's 8:05.
I'm just
You might,
saying.
hey, man, but listen, hey, I got two daughters, man. If
There
if
you
if
go.
they if baby girl needs you, you need to take that, man.
I know it. She's giving me 3 grandkids, so it's not exactly my baby girl anymore, but she's still my baby girl.
Oh, they always gonna be your baby girl,
Always,
but
always.
oh,
Yeah.
I grew up, like I said, and I started singing in nightclubs when I was 17, and tell everybody when you're 17 and they offer you $100 to stand up and sing for a couple hours, that's pretty enticing. That's
Yeah.
easy money, and plus it's fun. So I did that. So my whole family, like I said before, I grew up in the music scene around my grandparents and my mom and dad. And I mean, I could have been a plumber. The only thing I knew about it, hot on the left, cold on the right, and stuff runs downhill. I
I hear
know
you.
that part, but I know more about stage presence and stuff like that than I do plumbing.
Yeah.
Plus,
And
I get all over me when I try to work on pipes.
I'm not going
I
to
get
work on pipes.
purple stuff, the primer. I get that all
Oh,
over.
no, 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 no. I say, honey, you can do it, or we hire somebody. I'd
Right,
much rather pay the extra, have somebody come in and do it right.
right.
Sure, I may get the job done. It may be okay for a couple of days, then
Yeah,
it'll start leaking again. So,
yeah.
you
I
know.
mean, I can do it. I know how to do it, and I'm not above work. But man, I'd much rather play the guitar
So if you're
and
not,
write.
I have to ask you, Michael, if you're not playing as you would say, the guitar,
Yeah.
I'm just teasing you, dude.
No,
I'm sure I have an upstate New York accent. So, but if you weren't playing the guitar, what do you think you would be doing?
man. Good question.
Not
I
plumbing.
contracted with the power company for a long time.
Hmm.
With Georgia Power down here in Georgia, we did a lot of work with those guys.
Oh,
And from everything from cutting right of ways to bringing new power lines and stuff
mm,
like that. But also, man, I've been I've always done music, but I played sports in high school,
oh, cool.
and so honestly, if I didn't pursue music, I probably would be coaching somewhere. That would have been a bigger passion for me. Out in which I got the chance to do that with my kids, my
Mhm,
daughters and my son.
mhm.
I helped coach their teams in rec league and stuff like that. But
Right.
once they got into high school and middle school, of
Mhm.
course, they got into you
Right.
know the school coaching and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So what sport?
Oh, football. I love football, man. And I love baseball.
You look
I'm
like a football guy.
tall enough to play basketball. I might could shoot a three every once in a while as long as I was wide open and nobody was in my face, holding their hands up.
Yeah.
But
I know.
football, I was a defensive guy. I played.
You look at, no offense, I mean, you're a big guy, and you look like you'd be that type to play maybe a defensive end.
I played defensive end. I played defensive end and outside linebacker, and that's what I played. And on offense, I played tight end a little bit, and they put me at pulling guard some, but mainly I was a defensive guy. Mainly, that's what I got recruited for anyway.
But you got the Braves hat on.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute. Whoa, back up. You said you got recruited.
Small schools. I didn't get any big schools. I got recruited to some D3, some smaller schools.
Oh yeah, doesn't matter. That's cool.
And that's actually part of my musical testimony to say I had committed to a school right outside of Knoxville, or right outside of the Smoky Mountains, outside of Knoxville, a little small school called Maryville. I had committed to them. And I'll never forget the conversation going and talking to my dad. And I had just had knee surgery right out of high school.
Oh, geez.
And so I went in and talked to my dad in his bedroom. We shut the door. And I said, man, I don't think I'm going to play college ball. And I said, I really don't. I don't want to. My knee hurts all the time. And I said, I don't. He said, what do you mean? You've got an opportunity a lot of people don't get to do. And I said, man, I'm going to Nashville. I said, I want to write songs. And I said, I really enjoy singing. And he said, well, you can do that, but you better believe you're dang sure going to work too.
But it's what you want to do.
Always pay the bills, buddy.
Exactly. But it's all in here. It's what you have a passion for. And if you love singing and you love doing that end of it, why not? And like you say, you had your knee operated right out of high school. So come on, it's bound to happen again.
And I messed it up bad enough that right out of high school, in high school, my senior year, had knee surgery. And then 2 years later, they had to go back in and fix some stuff. So, I mean, I don't think I could have played. Even though I had the opportunity, I don't think I could have played anyway. Of course, things have come a long way since then, but I'm not.
I get you.
I don't regret it one bit. I enjoyed. It's just cool to look at the letters sometimes and say, "Hey, I did actually have the chance."
That's right. No, that's right. And never get rid of it. You'll always have it. So that's cool. So the football, your football team is what? Who?
Georgia Bulldogs.
I thought so.
Yeah, man. And unfortunately, the Falcons. We've not been too good the past few years. So if it's a Georgia sport team, I love the Braves. I know you got your Met. When you went to get your Mets hat, I pulled something else that's probably.
Oh no. Okay. What do you got?
Man, that's my autographed Chipper Jones rookie card,
dude.
And it's a PSA 10, and it's the only one of this card that's autographed, that's certified by PSA. So you know what Chipper Jones named his kid, right?
What?
Shay, because he owns Shea Stadium.
Yes. Oh my God, dude, that is freaking awesome. That is awesome. No, we're a big baseball family, and I mean, I even got the balls on the table here. So we're a big baseball family. I am one of the PA announcers for the Mets here in the Q's because we're the AAA affiliate. Awesome. So awesome. It's something like you being a singer. I love doing that, and I love doing this.
Right.
Just it's always so much fun, but this isn't about me, it's about you. So we need to talk more about you. So you said you've been traveling, you've been on the road, you've been playing.
Yeah,
tell us a little bit about that.
Man, I've been I just got back. I got back home yesterday. I left out on Thursday, got home yesterday, or really late Sunday. Let me rephrase.
I got you.
Yes, Sunday. I had to think these are all come together because I have been on the road all weekend and went out to Arkansas, did some stuff with some friends of mine in Arkansas, and it went really, really good. I go to Arkansas a lot, go to Texas a lot. Of course, Alabama being right here close to Georgia, Virginia, got some places in Virginia, Nashville, and Norway. I travel a lot. I've been to Norway 4 times.
You mean like Norway?
Norway.
Yes.
All the way over in Europe.
Was
It's
that
pretty
like a C
kind
to
of,
C thing?
yeah. Do what?
Was it like a C to C? You know how they have the C to C? A lot of the artists will go and play in England,
No,
but this was something that's
they got a couple festivals over there that I
yeah.
went, and it's kind of cool, man. It's wild to see the following I have over there. The last time that I was there, I actually headlined the show. They had a big Christmas show, and I headlined it, and I couldn't believe they had me headlining it, and I was kind of like, I don't know how good this is going to be. So we fly over. I actually get to take my mother with me on this trip.
Oh, how sweet.
So we get over there and find out I'm headlining, and I said, "Well, how'd it do?" They said, "Oh, it sold out," and it really, it. I was like, "Wow, that's pretty cool." So I go to Norway. I think I've been there 4 times now,
Oh wow.
and so I travel, man.
It's on my
I've been
bucket
blessed.
list. I gotta
I
tell you,
travel all
that's
over
on
the
my
country.
bucket list. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. Actually, I'm going back in August. This will be the first time I went during the summertime, so I'm excited about that. And my wife is going to get to go with me in August, so we're going to do that.
How nice. How does it do you ever take? I mean, you say you're taking your wife with you on the one coming up in August, but what about these trips over the weekends? For example, you went to Alabama and places like that. Do you take the fam with you? I mean, you got the
Some,
kids, you got the
uh,
wife.
Sometimes we go to they go to Texas with me. They go to Virginia, Kentucky. Um,
Mhm.
like this, but this weekend when I went to Arkansas, I had to go by myself, and that was a long. That's
Yeah.
kind of why I'm still trying to think about what was going on, because it was a long weekend, but it was a great weekend.
Mhm. Do you drive yourself out there?
I did this time, yes sir.
Yeah. You pull the trailer behind you?
Honestly, they had everything there for me. The only thing I had to take was me and a guitar.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it-
freaking awesome.
yep, it was good.
You know, I hear these stories. I talk to so many artists. I hear these stories that they got, for example, a Ford Econoline van, and they got the,
Yep,
the 6x8 trailer behind it, and and they're hitting up all these cities. They haven't exactly made it to the tour bus status yet. So,
absolutely.
but here, if they got a full front end, back end, they got it all. You plug and play, man. You can't ask for anything better than that.
Show up and sing. That's what I like to do.
That's cool. And talking about singing, so I know you've had a song that's out now, or you've had it out for a
Yeah,
little bit, if I'm not mistaken.
yes sir.
I know Shannon at Grassroots was telling me a little bit about it. And by the way, everybody that goes through Grassroots, and my hat goes off to you, because these are the people that know what they're doing.
Oh yeah,
The radio people, they're musicians. They know, they're not just somebody trying to run a business and saying they're going to promote you to radio. These are the people that they've actually been there, done that. So
they've been in the music business.
yeah.
Like what you just said with Shannon.
Mhm.
She's the one that worked at Warner Brothers, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
she worked at Warner Brothers. See, I used to work with a guy. You've been in radio, you might remember him. A guy named Bob Saporiti.
Yes.
You
Yes.
remember? I
A long
worked with
time
Bob.
ago, though.
Yeah, I worked with Bob for years, man.
No way.
Yeah, sure did. I was part of a duo called Buck and Duke,
I was
and
going to ask you about that duo because it's on the bio here, which I didn't know anything about. But the Buck and Duo.
yep,
Um, Let me hear it. I got to find it. Oh, forget. Oh, the Buck and Duke. Buck and
yeah,
Duke. So tell us
yep.
about that experience a little bit. And
Man,
then you got your own label out of that too, right? Or no?
we kind of did. What we wound up doing is Duke, the guy I sang with, his real name's Derry Maddox, and
Okay.
he was a little bit older than me. Him and my older cousin, were really good friends. And like I said, I started singing and going out singing publicly when I was 14. And when I was 17, I started going out singing in nightclubs. We've already covered that. But my older cousin was in college, and his best friend from high school and college was a guy named Derry Maddox. And he was a songwriter too. He was a songwriter. And every time my cousin would come home, he'd come see my dad, and him and my dad would be in there playing guitar because that's what everybody did.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd say, "Man, let me play you a song my buddy Derry wrote." And he'd play this song. And I'm sitting there, listening because, my cousin David was, he was way up here in my eyes, he played guitar and sang, and he played football. Everything I wanted to do, he done, So um, I would listen, and then I would just keep hearing these songs. And he'd say, yeah, my buddy Derry wrote this. So I was playing guitar, and I thought, if he can write, maybe I can. And I went in and wrote my first song, trying to impress my cousin because he was so up on his friend, And so wrote that song, and it turned out, I started writing. And so me and his friend linked up and started trying to write together. And my nickname in high school was Starbuck because my dad was Starbuck. He was a professional wrestler. He wrestled a lot with Ric Flair and Iron Anderson and all these guys, Road Warriors. My dad did.
That is so cool.
Starbuck, and my whole life they would call me Little Starbuck. So we started writing together, and we would. His family has a farm down here where we're from, and we'd go out there with our guitars and sit around a bonfire. And when I tell you God's honest truth, they'd be sometimes 300 people show up in a cornfield just to listen to me and him play guitar.
Wow.
And listen to songs we wrote. Well, his dad wound up being friends with Wilbur Rhymes, which is Leanne's dad.
Leanne's dad. That's right. He used to always drive the tour bus.
He's produced a lot of people too. And not just her, but like Steve Holy and some more people. Well, he started listening to us and was hearing some of the songs we were writing. And his lawyer was with him one night, and he come up and he said, "Who wrote that?" And we said, "We did." And plus, you got all these people that showed up to see us that night too. And he took us out to Tyler, Texas, and cut a 3-song demo for us for Curb Records. And we wound up finishing an album and hitting the road. And man, we did good. And through that, cutting that album, that's how we met Bob Saporiti.
Gotcha.
And it was right after Bob had retired from Warner Brothers, and he was starting to do independent promotion again. And man, we just got on board with him. He hooked us up with some major writers in town, and started writing songs with people like Pat Alger, who wrote all Brooks stuff, and then Aaron Barker. And then we had some songs produced by Greg Brown, who did all Travis Tritt's early stuff.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And so we just kind of got put in this network of people that showed us how the business worked. And at that time, it's kind of funny to say this because this was before social media really just exploded. The Buck and Duke duo, man, we were doing better without a record label.
It's happening a lot now too, but go ahead.
We got hooked up with the PBR, the Professional Bull Riders. We'd go all over the country with them and do their after parties and stuff like that. And because I went to high school with one of the bull riders named Sean Willingham. He done really good for years.
Oh, cool.
And had a great career. And we linked up with them. The PBR liked what we done, took us on the road with them, like played the national or the world finals in Vegas and everything. So we did that, and then just had, like the way life happens.
Yeah.
We we're still really good friends. We still write, but there was a change that happened. He started, he started coaching his kids and really spending more time coaching and bringing up, his kids in sports. I started music become a ministry to me. I started going out doing ministry work through music and kind of like an evangelist type deal.
Love that.
And it just, he put it the best. Me and him was on the phone talking one day about everything. And he said, it's kind of wild to think about it. He said, I think we both realized our callings were completely different than what we thought they were. And life just changed, man. And like I said, he still does music too, and we still rap together. And he still has
meant to be the way it is. That's all there is to it. It's meant to be this way, and everything happens for a reason. Because you guys were like this, and then you kind of did your own thing. So yep. But it's meant to be. That's the way it is. Look at you now, very successful. You're doing all right, dude.
Yeah, and he's great, man. Got his own business. And like I said, he still does music, and we still write songs. It's like there was no animosity, no hard feelings, anything. We both just realized that
Mhm.
life kind of done this way, and instead of fighting it, we just let it happen, and
Yeah, that's
it
all.
turned out good for both of us.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. Totally understand that too. It's pretty cool. Tell us about one of your shows. I mean, is it high energy? What if I
Well,
was to come out and
we can
see
do,
you,
yeah, man.
Michael Lee?
I got some guys that play mute like in the band with me when we do full band stuff, or if we're doing a festival that wants a full band.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's rocking. It's we do keep a lot of energy in it. We do break it down, but also I do a lot of acoustic stuff where it's just me and a guitar, and that's kind of a more intimate setting. But it's
Sure.
still, we still keep the crowd doing this. We get high, we come
And you
back
bring it
down,
back down.
even out. So I mean, it depends. I can do in a show whatever the venue wants. If they want the crowd in there moving and having a good time, we can
You'll give it
rock
to 'em.
all night long. And
Yeah, I love
if I'm reading the crowd and it's looking like they're enjoying more of the slower traditional style stuff, that's my
it.
wheelhouse.
So be it. Yeah, I mean, you can feel it out pretty good. The first
Oh,
few songs, you got a pretty good idea.
I've been doing it since I was 14,
There
brother.
you go. Exactly. And that's why. That's why you're a pro, because it takes that little bit and you kind of
Yeah.
figure it all out. It doesn't take long to do. What about you do a lot of your own stuff, but do you have some really cool covers that you do that you make them your own?
Oh yeah, man. Love doing George Strait, Travis
Love
Tritt.
it. Mhm.
Man, anything out of the '90s country,
I
I
was
love.
going to go there.
And
Okay.
I mean, that's really my wheelhouse. That's
Mhm.
that's the stuff I cut my teeth on, and George Jones, Merle Haggard, Keith
Oh
Whit,
my gosh.
Randy Travis, people like that. That's
Oh my
really who
Have you
I
had
love.
the opportunity to actually hang with any of those that that you look up to?
Yeah, man, I've been able to work with quite a few people. Man, Daryl Singletary was a good
Love
friend.
Daryl.
Me and Daryl, we got to be buddies. Actually, recorded a song together before he passed. I was one of the last people to record with him.
Oh wow.
Got to hang out with him. Of course, I've done shows with Leonard Skinner, Charlie Daniels, and then we've done shows with like Little Big Town, and
Mhm.
uh,
Mhm.
and on the gospel music side of things, I've done stuff with Jason Crabb and
Wow.
people like that. So I've been blessed, man. I've been able to perform and meet a lot of people, and like I said, writing songs with people like Pat Alger, just
Mhm. Mhm.
people can't pay the amount of money to get that kind of
No,
school,
exactly.
that kind
Exactly.
of that type of person to kind of take you under their wing and show you the ropes, man. You can't put a price on that.
No. I gotta say one of my best radio interviews besides Michael Lee, was at the CMA Awards a lot of years ago now, but when we had Charlie, and Charlie Daniels came through, and he came in and sat down, and he was just the coolest guy to have a conversation with. He
Oh,
was
it's
just so
amazing.
down to earth, and God rest his soul, but still he was just it's part of my career, one of the highlights where I can think back and go, yeah, that was one of my great interviews.
Oh,
It's just something
he's
about him.
amazing person. I remember the first time I met him, we were doing a thing in Sikeston, Missouri, and he was doing an event there too, and we were there, and went up, gave him a CD with our music on it, and I'll never forget what he said when he walked off. He held the CD up and shook it, kind of like this, and he
Mm.
said, "Hey, fellas, thanks for the record."
Oh
And
my God, I love it.
always stuck in my mind of how awesome that was. I
Yeah.
mean, for him to just call it a record like that,
I
it
know.
was.
I love that. I love that. That is God, you're right. That had to be so cool.
Oh,
And
it
of
was amazing.
course, records are coming back a bit, the
Yeah.
vinyl, but still for him to take a CD and go, thanks for the record,
Hmm.
dude.
That's one of the highlights I have. That's a cool Charlie Daniels story.
Yeah.
So,
Tell us about the song you've got out there now.
oh, we got a song called "Loving Me Comes Easy to You." I
That's right.
wrote I wrote this song with Randy Smith. he's actually the CEO or A&R director of PLA Records and Nashville Independent. It's an independent label, and they got an amazing thing that they're doing. They work with a lot of artists that are trying to break through and might not necessarily be getting any kind of help from anyone. If you've got good stuff and they believe in you, they'll come on and help you out. Release singles, help and do that. He's done it for a couple artists that
that's so cool.
Couldn't get any traction, and so he believed in them. You're not going to find somebody like what he does. And he first time we met, he was telling me what he was wanting to do, and he said, I really don't know who to start this with. He said, but man, I'd love if you would just he said, if you'll just let me release a song on you, there'll be no strings attached. And I'm looking at him like, are you sure about that?
I know, you have to second guess it. It's like, wait a minute.
He sold his vision to me, and I was like, man, there's nobody else out there doing what this man truly has a heart for people and music. And so we sit down. He had written this song and asked me what I thought about it. And I said, I love it. I said, there's some things, of course, to make it mine, I'd like to go in and change some stuff. And we went in and we rewrote the song, made it more me, and went in the studio and cut it. And when we went to studio, actually, Micah Swinesberg and Dana Williams produced this from Diamond Rio.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's my producers on this. And
cool.
So we went in and they was like, what are you kind of feeling for this? And I said, honestly, let's go late 90s, early 2000 feel on it and honk it up. So we gave it that 90s, late 90s, early 2000s vibe. We gave it that and honestly, it's one of the most popular songs we've done. And I think it's because people really want that kind of music still.
Does it sound something like this? I know. I had to make sure I hit the right button.
Reputation that's hard to outrun.
See, I love that feel of the 90s.
Everything I tried to hold together seems to come undone.
Do you have a steel in there?
Oh, yeah.
And I know we'd never make it without all the things you do. Girl, I am so thankful loving me comes so easy to you.
Love that. See, if I play the whole thing, I'll get yelled at by the social media gods.
Yeah.
Saying you can't do that without permission.
Talking about steel guitar, man. We brought in probably one of the most legendary steel guitar players left in Nashville, and a guy named Steve Henson. He plays on a lot of people's stuff, but Steve, he played for he was a Jones boy. He played for George Jones.
Okay.
Played for Randy Travis.
Okay. He's seasoned.
He's the real deal. Like he's the guy that everybody wants to hang out with, because honestly, like the Country Music Hall of Fame brings this guy into talking seminars and stuff because he's done everything with everybody who's anybody. And so I feel like I'm name dropping, but you asked about steel guitar. And
no, please do.
Oh yeah, we got steel and we got the man.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. That is awesome. And somebody like him, like you mentioned, who he's played with, and he's been around a little bit, he's seasoned. And to play the steel guitar, that's a whole talent in itself. It's just, and the sound of a good steel player, and just, oh my God, it just blows me away.
He's got it.
Yeah. I'm looking at this. So I got the Mets hat on. You got the Atlanta Braves. I got a comment from Michael James. I know for a fact that Michael is a huge Yankees fan.
Oh, okay.
This, I'm surprised his little logo there on the side isn't a New York, but yeah. And I'll tell you why it isn't right now, because Michael is a police officer.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So, and we back the blue, and Michael, we love you. So
yes,
thank you for doing what you're doing. And it's been a tough day in the Q's because of that. And as a matter of fact, he was very close to one of the officers that didn't make it. So
prayers going for you, buddy.
Yep, absolutely. I we take so much for granted in life, and then this happens, and it really makes you think about things. So anyways, don't want to get on such a downer, but we do back to blue. So what's next for you, Michael?
Man, we're actually probably, honestly, one of the coolest things in music I've ever been a part of is getting done right now. We just got a 48-foot tractor trailer enclosed.
What?
It's being converted right now into a traveling stage. They've already got the side where the stage comes out. It's going to be fully function, fully sound, all lights. It's going to be, 100% independent. We got generators for it. It's going to have a green room in it. It's got storage for equipment, but the side just lays down,
and you got a full stage,
full production. Actually, there's a tent cover that's going to cover the stage, and we'll have lights, full sound, full production, and you can pull up in the middle, like we was talking about a cornfield a while ago.
Just pull up
in the middle of a cornfield, let the stage down, turn the generators that's attached to the stage, flip them on, put on a full production concert anywhere we want to. That's being done right now. You could go to my social page. You could go to my Facebook page and watch a video of it right now.
I will. When we get done tonight, I'll be jumping on that. And speaking of that, where do we go on Facebook? Just do facebook.com, Michael Lee Music, or Michael Lee? Or
Michael Lee Tunes, TUNES, Michael Lee Tunes. And that's anything. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, anything you want to go to, we're on there with my YouTube, Michael Lee Tunes. And
I love that.
Yep.
Who's going to drive it? You got to have a class 1 to drive this thing.
Oh, my best friend does. He got it. And then and honestly, the guy that plays bass for me, me and him's been playing together forever. He actually played drums for Buck and Duke, and now he's playing bass with a lot of bands.
That's cool.
He's got a CDL too, so he can drive it, then play bass.
Multitasking.
Yeah,
and I love it. Michael Lee is who we're chatting with tonight on Skip Happens. What a great story and what a great guy. But Michael James is on there. We were just talking about Michael, but he says thank you, and he goes, I love the Yankees, but who's your favorite Braves player?
Mine.
Apparently,
it's a toss-up because I wasn't old enough. I don't remember Hank Aaron. I don't remember Phil Necro because I wasn't alive when they played. But I love Dale Murphy, and I love Chipper Jones. Chipper Jones is he's probably my all-time favorite. But I'm a big third base fan, and so I like Bob Horner. That's the name you ain't gonna hear a lot.
No.
He played third for the Braves, and then you got Chipper, Terry Pendleton, but my all-time favorite, me, because of where I fall age-wise, would probably be Dale Murphy and Chipper Jones.
Okay. Yeah, okay, I get you. How often do you get to go to a game, Mike?
It's been a couple years since I've actually got to go watch the Atlanta Braves. Now, last year I had some downtime, and they were out on the road, but we did go check out. See, I'm from right. I told you I'm a little north of Atlanta, south of Chattanooga.
Right,
I'm from the area of Rome, Georgia, and they have one of the minor league teams for Atlanta, the Rome Emperors, and we actually went and watched them some last year.
Very cool. Minor league baseball. As you know, we were talking earlier, and here in the Q, Syracuse being the AAA affiliate of the New York Mets, and City Field's only a few hours away. I mean, we take the train if we want and go right into New York.
Right.
But minor league ball can be a lot of fun, and you see a lot of these players as they're making their way up, and then again, you see them as they're coming down. So, some of them just don't want to give it up, and I don't blame them. It's their love for baseball. I get it. So it's pretty cool.
Right.
Pretty cool. What do you do for fun besides baseball and football?
Man, that's about it, man. Honestly, not to try to sound boring, but man, I really enjoy spending time with my family now. I guess because I miss so much time when my kids were really little.
Mm.
And with my wife, because when we were doing the Buck and Duke deal, we'd be in Nashville Monday, Tuesday, come home Wednesday, get home Wednesday night and have rehearsal with our band. And then we might be home Thursday, but 9 times out of 10, we were gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday playing. And that was every week. And so for a man with a wife and some babies, that's not much time to be a husband or daddy. And
It's a tough road, man.
and you get to be daddy and husband one day a week. It takes a good woman to love a man through that, buddy. And I got one.
You got one. That's what matters. Is she into music at all, or does she know what you do? Or,
No,
sometimes that helps.
She does. She's not into music now. Her dad was. Her dad actually played keyboards with a lot of gospel groups, and she grew up on a bus. Her dad played with a group called the Gospel Brass for a long time.
Okay.
And she would load up. Their whole family would get on the tour bus and take off and be going on weekend trips with them. So she knows. She's been around it. Yeah, absolutely.
I was going to say, so she's been around it, so she kind of probably knows pretty much everything there is to know about doing it.
She knew what she was getting into.
Yes. And she loves you otherwise. So, and she's going to make it happen.
Yeah.
And she's giving you a great family. So, and both of you work together at that. That's pretty awesome. Michael Lee, if somebody wants to get a hold of your music, is it Michael Lee Tunes? Is that what you said?
Well, you can go to my website, michaelleetunes.com, and get it there. But I'm on every streaming platform. You can pull up Michael Lee. I've got an album called Tattoos. Pull up Michael Lee Tattoos, and it'll take you to everything. Honestly, it's one of my biggest albums I had, so it'll pop up first probably. And it'll take you to everything. That's on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, everything. You can, every streaming platform, pull up Michael Lee Tattoos, and it'll definitely take you to everything else I have. I got 3 or 4 albums available on streaming networks.
I had that many, dude. And wow, that's quite the library when you think about it.
Yeah,
4 complete
albums. Behind me. There's my catalog. Yeah,
I was going to ask you about that because I see the big one. I'm looking at it, so it's kind of like, well, everything's backwards here, but it's like over the big one with Michael Lee on it. That's pretty cool. And then I do see the littler one. So you've done well for yourself, dude.
I didn't have that big one made. Someone made that for me, and it was a bio deal, and it was a gift from someone.
Dude, that's awesome though.
So.
Wow. Yeah. I know. I got here. You can't see it where I am, but in my podcast studio, and all the years I've been doing radio, we get almost like what you got behind you. We always get those from the labels, and I've got them all around the walls here. So
yeah,
and I got a couple of guitars that I do not know how to play. So, but they look good.
I kind of feel that way too. I got a couple that I really don't know how to play.
Oh, stop!
I should be way better than I am. I've been playing for so long.
Oh my God, you can play with your eyes closed. I don't even know how many strings are on a guitar. No, I do. There's 6. Well, sometimes 12. Unless you're a bass, then there's 4. Mm-hmm. I don't. That's not. Never mind. Forget it. I'm not even going to go there. Michael Lee, it's pretty awesome chatting with you, my friend. Getting to know you a little bit, and I look forward to hearing a little bit more from you. And I hope to see you somewhere. And I'll make it a point to come up and say hello. And
absolutely,
we get to Nashville quite often. And I don't know how often you're actually there, or if you play any gigs there.
I'm there a good bit, and anytime I need to be there. So if you are coming down, get with the publicist and the promotion team.
Find out where you are.
To let me know, and if I'm in town, I'll come up and we'll grab lunch or dinner, man. All about it.
Grab a cold one.
Where were you at CRS this year?
I've been at CRS for the last 22 years.
Okay. Well, I wonder how we missed each other, man, because I was there too. It's just it wasn't meant to be.
Nope. Were you in Bar Lines?
I don't even remember where all I was.
Bar Lines is the bar in the Omni Hotel. That was like my office.
I was down there. I did a couple interviews down that way. I was thinking, where am I at? Where am I at? And I was thinking, so yeah, I was down that way.
No, I don't. Yeah, they did do some interviews. I know there were some other people doing those, and but that's one thing I stay away from the interviews at CRS because I don't want to be committed to all that, and I don't want the artists to be committed because they need to. It's a way for you to network and get to see people and meet people and all that. There's other times we could do interviews. For example, what we're doing here tonight.
Well,
So
doing that, yeah,
I respect your time and I respect who you are as an artist. So
right back at you, man. That's cool because they're,
I know
you don't make
you
it
don't
like
have to
that.
explain. Don't have to explain. Totally get it. But Michael Lee, it's been pretty awesome. If you're ever in the Northeast as well, just if you're coming through Syracuse for whatever reason, want to come and watch the Mets play. I mean, just saying.
Maybe we could come up there when Atlanta comes to town.
Now, yeah, well, the City Field, we could do that. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
they do play each other. I got that right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, okay.
The Mets just came down last week.
That's right. They didn't finish, you said.
They didn't finish. Right now, the Mets are up. They're up in the series right now. We got a rain delay though, and we are going to make that date up. And I hope and pray that we at least tie the series with you guys.
I love it. It's going to be fun. It's always fun. Baseball's great. I love it. Cold one and watch a great game. Michael Lee, thanks for joining us here tonight on Skip Happens. It's pretty awesome,
dude. Thank you so much.
It's all about good conversation, and that's what I do, and really enjoy it. And know what I just noticed? I don't know if you can see it. Oh, I gotta go this way. Way over, up there in the corner is I did a podcast. Do you see that on your screen? It's like a little boy bending over a young man. That's my son.
Really?
Yeah, we do a podcast called, I don't know if you can see it or not. It's called Zach Attack with Dad. Mm-hmm. And my son is 23 and Down syndrome. So like Sunday nights, we sit down here and we do a podcast called Zach Attack with Dad. And I forgot to take it down last night. I just noticed it. So
well, I will tell you what, man, my wife is a registered nurse. She's an RN, and she's finishing up to get her nurse practitioner right now. She's in there doing homework right now. That's what she's doing.
God bless.
And I'll tell you something that touches her heart. And she has just a burning in her soul. She loves working with people with Down syndrome. She has a heart. When I tell you that is my wife's heart is working with people with Down syndrome, I could go get her right now. That's her heart. She loves working with kids and adults, anybody with Down syndrome. She loves it.
My son is 23, and I'll tell you what, when we sign off tonight, if you get a minute, go to Skip Happens on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're going to see the one that we did last night. It's called Zach Attack with Dad. Show her that.
I will. I definitely
promise me you will. Because
I promise. That's her.
Yeah.
It is. She absolutely, like, she worked in physical therapy for a little while. I know we're done, but
this is great conversation. You know what's good about this? You're human, dude.
Yeah.
It's just like we are, and we have families, and it's this is the real Michael Lee. This is the real Skip Clark. So
she's a registered nurse, but she also worked in physical therapy too. And I'm telling you, anytime someone with Down syndrome would come into the clinic to have to do therapy or anything, she said, I want them every time. That's her heart, man. She told me, she said, if I ever got into a specialist deal, that's what she would want to do.
Oh my gosh. She's so blessed, dude.
Yep.
You're so lucky.
She's a good man. She is one of the best people in the world. She really, I'm not saying that because she's my wife. I mean, I wouldn't be the man I am without her. And that's I'm telling you, when God made, in my opinion, the two greatest women, he made my mom and my wife. That's awesome. My daughters have probably, and my mother-in-law is a great woman. So I'm surrounded by great women, dude.
You are, and it makes you a great man.
And my daughters, man, they got the greatest women in the world to look up to. But
oh my gosh,
I promise you, we'll go. Did you say it was on YouTube?
It's on YouTube. Skip Happens. You can just, go to the page, the channel. I have a channel,
Okay.
And all these get posted up there as well. This will be up there when you go because you're doing it live. I just need to kind of
Yeah.
trim it up a little bit afterwards,
Right.
but it will be there if you go there. Let me tell you a quick story. Now that we're talking.
Mhm.
So I was married before and I got 3 beautiful daughters and they've given me 8 great grandkids. I mean, I'm a young grandpa, love it. Just nothing like it. When I met my wife now, she was older later on in life, both of us, and she had never been a parent before. You know, she never was married, never had kids, but she wanted to have kids. We tried and tried and tried, tried and tried and tried. Nothing was happening. She had a couple of things happen and it just wasn't working. So finally, it worked. And very excited, we go to the doctors, and because we're both older, she was a little bit older, 40, young 40s. The doctor did a test, the amniocentesis, I think that's what they
Yeah.
call it. They did the test and they called us in and said, this child is trisomy 21. And we're like, we don't, that was before we knew anything about anything.
Yeah.
And they said, well, your child will have Down syndrome. And we're like, doc, no. And our doctor was so cool that he did another test. We just had to sign off on the paperwork in case something happened. He did another test and it still came back the same. And then you only have so much time to do, if you're going to make a decision to do whatever. Everybody's got their own beliefs. I get that. But it's like we waited and waited, and then we had to go in and talk to the doctor. And the doctor was like, okay, I need to know today. What are we going to do? It's like, doc, God gave us this child.
Yeah.
We're going to have this child. And he just smiled ear to ear. He grinned and said, do you realize how many people come in here and don't want that? They don't want that burden. It's not even a burden. It's great. It's the
Right.
best thing that ever happened to Nancy and I, my wife and I. It's the best thing.
They're the happiest people I've ever met in my life.
Dude, that's what I mean. You go look at Skip Happens when we get off here. Call your wife in and say, honey, I was just talking to Skip Clark, and we need to see his son is 23 and has Down syndrome, works for the Mets, by the way, in the press box, does the scoreboard, does the walk-ups, does all the PA announce, puts it all in front of the PA announcer. He does it all. He's amazing.
That's so cool, man.
He'll tell you, you could say, all right, Zach, Washington Nationals 2018, who is number 12? He'll come right out and tell you. It's amazing.
That's wild. That's
Dude,
wild.
Shit you not. He does. It's just amazing. Amazing. And it just, if you watch that last night, he makes notes before every podcast. I know we were going to be talking about music here, but anyways, he makes notes before every podcast. Last night, it was all about his years, like growing up. He'll say 2008, Main Street School. And, he has names, he has the years, he's got everything just right down to the exact you'll see it. If you watch it, you'll see it.
Oh, we're going to watch it, man. And like you said, brother, music is a great thing, and music is a great tool that can help a lot of people. But
Yes.
You know what? There's some things that are bigger than music. And this is awesome, dude. And I can't wait to watch it. And I promise you, it's going to tickle my wife's heart.
It's amazing.
I promise you, she's gonna love it.
Just let me know when you watch it. Drop me an email or just leave a little comment under there saying, so I know you watched it. It's cool.
I got you. We got you covered, buddy.
Michael, I appreciate you so much. You're a great guy, great artist. You got a lot going for you. God bless you. God bless your wife and family. And hopefully we can get some viewers to get caught onto your music and become, one fan at a time. And you've been doing it a little bit. You know what's going on. So
yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, Michael, have a great night. Thank you. It's Michael Lee here on Skip Happens. Good night, Michael. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, sir.